Hey guys, this is my Malaysian forest scorpion. I looked on the World Wide Web more or less and tried to see what all videos were available, and there weren't too many, but there seemed to be a lot of people asking about ways to house a scorpion because I guess this time is a little bit better than most, and a lot of people are getting a scorpion for the first time. Either that or some other arachnid. I mean, technically, uh, this housing can also be used for uh, a variety of tarantulas as well. But I mean, the three things is some kind of substrate, a hide, and water. And all that one is, and these are just temporary. For me, usually my enclosures are usually planted, and I recently took out a good bit of plants in these so that they can have a little bit more room to kind of grow. Um, but so, like on a lot of them, the plants will offer a lot of cover, and that also kind of gets them coming out of their hide and kind of moving around. And so far, people say, oh, you don't want, too big of an enclosure. All these are basically just tins that I have lengthwise, and I have a hide on the front of each of these. So like this one's my whip scorpion or vinegaroon, and this just keeps it dark in there. And there she is. So each one of these hides are visible. And then I just put a little shim in it. This one's my Theraphosa spider. She's a little bit harder to see. There she is. Right there. And of course I'll pull it and kind of redo the enclosure whenever she gets bigger. But I mean, she seems to be doing a decent remodel job in there without totally deconstructing the whole thing. And, so on and so forth. It's all hollow hides for each of them. These three are scorpions, Asian forest, Malaysian male, and another Asian forest, male, female. Um, so, for an absolute basic enclosure, this is fine. I mean, about hands width. I mean, this one's about the length of my hand, so I don't really know the exact measurement. Maybe 5, 6 inches by at least a foot, so 12 by 6. And then depth wise, it's maybe 3 or 4. And all I have is I have cork bark, and then I've kind of aimed it in at an angle and then covered the back side of it. That way, it gives her an opportunity to kind of go in and kind of burrow around. Like I said, for me, this is temporary. Once we move her to another one, she'll have a little bit more room. Um, and I mean, honestly, guys, it's about it. I mean, as you can see, she's finishing up super worm. Um, I'm actually thinking of maybe not putting her in a tin just because she's a lot easier to handle. Like, I mean, I can set my hand down and she'll come to my hand and walk up on it. Like, I don't even have to, kind of push her with a. Here, push her with a brush. I ain't even got to use that. And these two are temporary as well. It's my red knee, and this one over here is a blonde. I think she's actually, yeah. There she is, hiding away. Um, but I mean, I'm not trying to kill extra time. I'm just trying to make sure I really have everything in there. And actually, I guess one thing, that water dish right there is actually feeder bowls that you can get from Walmart for like $5. And I like the fact that they're curved. I put rocks in there that are brushing the surface, so anything that goes in, I make sure can get out. I like them because it's a thicker plastic, and it doesn't really lose that much water, in terms of it heating up. I don't know. I've seemed to have some pretty good luck. But like this one was my tail whip scorpion. She's hiding behind that tree right there, that little bush. There she is. I got to get a little hide in here for her, but I'm just using one of those cups. And again, sorry for getting lost on you there, but the cups I'm using was just a cheap little Pangea thing. Comes with 100 of them, and since I don't throw them away, I have like 5 or 6 of them kind of floating around, and I just kind of rinse them out and reuse them. And I guess most importantly is know what species you have. Some scorpions are going to be dry, a dry environment. Others require a little bit of humidity. And one of the cheaper options, again, would be a Walmart run, little combo meter, $8. I have not had an issue yet with these. I'll occasionally come in with an electronic one and just verify that all these are still correct. But I try to not make a huge scene or mess of them, but I have a thermometer there, and then you can't really see it, but back behind that bush right there is the thermometer and the hydrometer. And then so you have 2 here, 2 there, and 2 there. I don't really have that many of them because, if I had tons of them, tons of enclosures, sorry, that would add up over time. But, other than that, know if it's a burrower, if it likes to burrow, give it some substrate. If it doesn't burrow, it doesn't really hurt not to have a lot of substrate. It also gives you the opportunity to plant. And some of these I'm just experimenting with. Like, I know vines, a lot of vines are really, really hardy. Pothos, anyone should know pothos. A lot of these ferns that are dying are just different families that I'm just trying out. And it's also something as simple as, just going to your nearest store, seeing what's on sale, and, buy it. Make sure, it's nothing toxic to whatever animal you're housing. And pull it out, knock as much of the black dirt with a little white dots in it. Sorry, the word for those escaped me. And then, what you can use is, you want to use some kind of either potting mix or dirt that doesn't have a lot of additives in it. For a lot of these, what I'll do is any potting mix that has some kind of additive in it, I'll actually put at the very bottom, and then I'll do a layer of thin cypress mulch, and then on top of that, I'll do non-treated dirt. And in my time of having planted enclosures, I haven't had an issue with any insects, arthropods dying. In fact, to me, it kind of aids the speed in that all the plants shoot down roots and get to the nutrients and then lock it in. And to me, it seems to help them grow a lot better. So like this one, Asian forest, female. And then there is hides further in the back, which I'll make holes. Like if I have which this is just a dusting of cypress mulch, um, but I'll make a hole in the back closer to their water dish. That way they can self-regulate between a drier environment or more humid environment. And if I never see it in here and it's back there in a burrow that it made, I'll fill the dish up. I won't overflow it as much, but I'll mist up here a little bit more. That way it can kind of alter it to come back to where it's more visible. And also it really helps with feedings too, because all I have to do is lift this up, drop it right there in the hide. 9 times out of 10 the cricket or whatever goes to the darkest spot, and it's almost a guaranteed feeding every time. So other than that, this is the first official video of this channel. My first channel is a more of a guns and hunting, fishing review. This one is more family oriented. All these quote unquote creepy crawlies are part of me trying to get my kids interested in something else other than your everyday. I don't want to go outside. I want to watch TV. It's like, okay, well, let's not watch TV. Let's do something in the bug room. And if it's something as simple as getting one of these enclosures and breaking it down, because I have a lot of empty enclosures, so we can build one, get one ready, and then find one that might not visit its environment as much as the others, and change it into a new one. It doesn't seem to stress them out. It also most of the time gives them something new to explore, because there's a lot of them that will stay out 2 or 3 days just to explore the environment that they're put in. So make it interesting. They don't. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't be the person to get an enclosure, put like 1 inch of dirt in it, and just put it in there. That's make it interesting. If you spend the money on it, make it as realistic as possible. If you want to hold it more, whatever it is, if it's really docile, I wouldn't give it a solid burrowing chance. What I mean by that is, I wouldn't fill it all the way up halfway and just let it burrow on its own. Because if it does that, you're going to have to get an excavator and all that and try and find it, because you'd have to dig slowly so you didn't chop whatever it was in half. But like use a bark round, something like this, and if you can see how this is angled in the dirt, what you would want to do is push it deeper in the dirt. That way it'll somewhat burrow down on the back side of it. And 9 times out of 10, if you wanted to see it, you could just kind of lift the round up, and if it's a scorpion, at least 9 times out of 10 it'll run out and try and figure out who's disturbing it. And everything else will react differently. Like vinegaroon may mist you with some vinegar acid. Scorpion might come out, claws out, and bird eater might come out somewhat aggressive. So it all boils down to know what you have. I wouldn't go to a store, see something you like, buy it, and then get home and be like, okay, I don't even know what this is. Let me look at it up now. Which, if you're watching this, you might kind of be in that scenario. So, not really throwing any judgment, but just look it up. Don't make quick decisions, because, there's tons of breeders out there, and Asian forest, Middle Asian forest, emperor scorpions are usually a dime a dozen. So if you see it and you like it, learn about it, and then get one. I would say it's kind of like a dog, but you know, um, so just getting a little bit more view on it. But yeah, if y'all have any questions, just put them down in the comments. I'm hoping to get a few more enclosures out, but hopefully this kind of aided in someone's search results, since there weren't really, that many videos out, especially for scorpion. But all right, y'all have a good one.